this is who we think the winners and losers should fight next in their upcoming matches. So we're gonna start off with the losers first. So Li Jingliang, man, what you think is next for him?
Yo, initially after that knockout and how long he was knocked out, I was saying Leach versus retirement. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking. But looking at his last four, he lost this fight by knockout. He lost his last fight by split decision to D-Rod. The fight before that, he TKO'd Muslim, the king of Kung Fu, Salikhov from Dagestan. He TKO'd him with elbows. And then the fight before that, he got subbed by Hamza. So he is 1-3, but that's not terrible. It's not like he's 0-5 or something and getting knocked down every fight. He lost a split to D-Rod. He lost by quick submission to Hamzat, and he just got knocked out cold by Protest. So I was thinking initially retirement, but now I'm thinking maybe give him an unranked fighter, maybe a winner off the Contender Series. Try to get the leash back going, see what happens from there.
Yeah, I definitely think he should take a long time off. I think he should be on a medical suspension for sure, without a doubt. So we might not see him back for another 6 months, maybe a year. But I would say at least take a year off if he could. Man, that was a bad knockout. He's never been knocked out before, so I don't know if his confidence is even going to be there. Give him some time off, maybe. I don't know. Maybe give him a Tony Ferguson. I know Tony Ferguson is semi-retired, but
Leave Tony Ferguson alone, my friend. Leave him alone.
hey, the Legion ain't a bad matchup, man. The Legion ain't a bad matchup. I want to see Tony go out on it with the dub, man. Come on.
Bro,
Come on,
Tony versus you is 50-50 at this point.
bro. Moving on, man. Moving on. What you got next for my guy Ty Bam Bam Tuivasa, man? He's been on a skid.
This is sad. This is sad stuff, man. The guy, he's working hard. Seems to be like he's posting him in the gym, working hard after loss after loss after loss. He's like, yo, this time I'm gonna get it. This time I'm gonna get it. And he just losing by stoppage again and again and again. That's five straight. That's five straight. He lost to Cyril Gahn by TKO stoppage in the fifth round. Cyril Gahn beat the brakes off him like the whole fight and then stopped him. He beat him down into a stoppage. He didn't stop him with like a strike. He beat him down until he stopped him. And then he lost to Pavlovich in the first round. Pavlovich with the heavy hammers came out. They both traded, and Ty was done and won. Ty done and won. That seems to be the story for Pavlovich in most of his fights. Then he comes back and he fights. Who did he fight next after? He fought Volkov, and Volkov pieced him up the whole fight until he found the submission. Volkov submitted Ty. Then he fought Tybura, and he got submitted in the first round. The most gatekeeper of gatekeepers, Marcin Tybura. He lost by submission to him. And now you lose to Biggie Boy by decision. And Biggie Boy didn't just beat him, he styled on him, looking like Izzy Adesanya on him. So that's five straight. At this point, I do like the guy. Dana loves the guy. Dana loves guys that just come to bang. But five straight, man, and he's taking damage. So at this point, I feel like they should cut him. He's only 31 though. Maybe cut him, let him fight on the regional scene a couple fights and come back.
I mean, 5 hours in a row, but he's lost at the top of the division, man. The top of the division, bro. Like these guys,
Tybura was bad.
he definitely needs a win though. That Tabora L is gonna cost him, bro. Hopefully not though. Hopefully the UFC keeps him around, man. He's a proud favorite, but now he's gonna have to fight some up and
I
comer.
think they're gonna give him one more fight against a new guy.
Yeah, someone's coming in. Yeah, someone they want to push up because he's still, bro. Heavyweight don't got too many options, so
Yeah, you're right. You're right. They might
we'll
give him one
see.
more fight against a new guy that they think is hot.
We'll see. At this point, it's time versus the unemployment line for me. You heard?
Yo, it's close, man. It's close. He
It's
might get
getting
the
close,
call.
bro. It's
You
getting
might get the
close,
call as we speaking right now, and they say, "Yo, you got."
bro. But I love him though. I love him though. I don't want to see it.
He had a banger against Greg Hardy. Everybody, that was a hood classic, certified hood classic.
Yo, what's that Drake line? Yo, Kobe, my brother. I hate it. Had to be him.
Facts. Hate it, but it had
Wasn't
to
what we
be
doing in the gym.
him. All right.
Anyways, moving on, man. Moving on. Mateus Gamrot, bro. Did not see this coming. I'm not gonna lie, man.
Oh,
I thought this was his entrance in the top five to really solidify himself, give himself that maybe if not the next title fight, but at least a title eliminator fight.
yeah, yeah.
So what you think is next for this guy, bro?
Well, when Mateos, he was a hot prospect. They brought him in to become a champion type of guy. He was a champ at KSW, coming in super hot, and he lost his first fight by split decision to Garan. After that, he goes on a win streak. He's finishing dudes, and then once you think he's about to fight Islam for the title, he's in the top seven. He fights Benil Dariush and gets smoked. Then he starts getting a win streak again. He got lucky against Fiziev, who got injured, gets another win streak, and then they set him up against Dan Hooker, line him up to get a nice position in the ranking, to line him up, get a nice position for the titles, and he loses by split decision. So at this point, Gamrot's stuck in a rock and a hard place right now. He's not gonna get a title shot. If he wins his next fight, he still won't get a title fight. And if he loses his next fight, he's close to getting out the rankings. So he's in a tough spot right now. I would say run it back. Rafael Fiziev, Mateusz Gamrot, just run it back. Fight night main event, 5 rounds. That was a good fight. Fiziev blew out his whole knee in that fight. It was a fluke. Let's just run it back. Fiziev's coming off a big injury loss. Gamrot's coming off a loss to Dan Hooker by split decision in a war. Let's make it happen, Uncle Dana.
Spot on, man. Spot on. I agree 100%. If not Fiziev, I say he could run it back with Benil, man. I think he can run it back with Benil.
That's a good matchup. They're both
I
coming off else.
think those are good options for him. Benil does. I don't think he's lined up yet with anyone, so or I don't know if he's even interested in coming back. But this was a split decision, man. It wasn't like it's not like he got mauled or nothing. He's still top of the top, but I was not expecting this. I ain't gonna lie, man. I ain't gonna lie. And a lot of people lost a lot of money on this dude. But that's the name of the game, bro. Moving on. Moving on to my guy, Astro Boy Steve Ursek, man, fighting in front of the home crowd. He was that home boy, man, that Perth native. He was the only one from Perth.
Disappointing
The
loss for
cold
him,
man.
man.
It was a lot for him, bro. He wasn't. You could tell he don't come from this type of lifestyle. Like, tell he's like a humble dude, man. The embedded man. Just, I'm a big fan. I'm a
Yeah,
big
he
fan of
doesn't
this
act
man,
like a
bro.
street guy at all, right? He just does
He don't act hard, yeah, bro. He's a funny dude, man. He's just a
chill
likable
guy,
guy, bro.
very nice
You
guy.
can see him go out like this. But
Yeah.
what you think is next for him, bro? What you think is next for him, bro?
Well, Steve was super hot. They rushed the title, and he had a war with the champ. And the champ seems to be smoking everyone else, and Steve had a war with him. And then coming into this fight, everyone counted out Kai, and Steve loses by first round knockout. So I think the fight is pretty clear. It should be Steve Ursek versus Manel Cape. Before they lost, they both just are coming off a loss. Before Manel lost to Mukayev, he came in with a knockdown in each of his last 4 fights. And before Steve Ursek lost to Kai, everybody was saying, "Oh, this guy's the future of the flyweight division." Let's get two guys that were super hot coming off a L, disappointing L. Both guys coming off disappointing L's. Manel had the boring ass fight with Mukayev after they was about to fight before the fight, and then once the fight actually starts, they just staring at each other. And Steve Ursek coming off a disappointing first round KO loss to Kai when everybody thought Steve Ursek was about to style on this dude. So match him up and let's see what happens. Manel's number 7. I think Steve is number 6 at this point. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, I like it. Manel, that's a good fight. That's a good fight. But I say give Steve some time off. I think Manel's looking to fight soon. I don't know if he gets Manel, but anyone, man, anyone in the top 5, I think maybe Alex Perez. I'm kind of drawing a blank right now. Who
Alex
would be next?
Perez is that classic filling guy. Oh, you're on a losing streak? Here, take Alex Perez.
But yeah, word. Because I think Steve Urson could do it. Because I think he could come up. He's probably not gonna. I don't know if he's gonna fight even on the main card now. Because he's a likable guy, bro. He's a really likable guy, bro. He's kind of like Vogue. He got that Vogue energy,
Got that vote exactly. People like him. He's a chill guy and he's down to scrap, man.
bro. He's funny as hell, bro. He's funny as hell. I was on the embedded, bro. I was just like, bro, this dude is so likable, bro.
He's like the main character from The Office, bro.
Bro, bro, yo. He told the dude that was doing the posters every time when he was signing the posters, and the dude had to just lift him up, cut him, like put him to the side, lift him up, cut him to the side. Yo, he asked him, he's like, yo, are you plagued by paper cuts? Like, that's such a funny question to
It's
ask.
such a dad joke too, and the guy looks like such a
Yeah, I'm like, bro, he's mad likable. You want him? I want him to do well, bro. I'm a big fan, bro. Yeah, give him Manel, bro. Manel be a big fight. That'd be a hype fight. Manel was
big one.
that was no ball. Manel's not walking the park though. That's what I'm saying, bro. There's no easy fights for this dude right here, right now,
No
bro.
easy fights at the top, man, in the UFC,
But give
dog.
him some time off, let him recover. I don't know if he's been knocked down like that before. That was tough, but we'll see. Hopefully, I think he got that dog in him, bro. He got that. He's from Perth. He's from Australia, so I think he got it. I think he got it. But moving on though. Moving on to Israel
Ah, it
Adesanya.
hurts. It hurts.
Yeah, man. Never seen him on this side of the bracket before. I mean, this is the first time 2 L's in a row. I mean, what you think is next for Izzy, bro? I know this was a tough one for you. I don't know if you've even completely processed this yet, but
Listen, it is
as much as
tough.
you can walk me through this shit.
He's coming off two losses. The loss against Strickland, he looked horrible. This last loss, he didn't look bad. He looked pretty solid. It was a good fight. It was a good competitive fight. Dricus just looked better than him. Dricus just looked better than him. And that's just what it is at this point. He's 35 years old. Dricus is 30. 35 is kind of like, the age where you start to decline 185 and below. It is what it is. We have to check. We have black belt. We have to check this brother. Like we have to check what Izzy still got in the tank at this point. You know what I mean? We got to give him maybe if Hamza beats Rob, do Sean Strickland versus Izzy rematch, 5-round co-main event on a pay-per-view. But if Rob beats Hamza, give the Sean Strickland the rematch, and let's do Izzy versus maybe the winner of Imavov and Brendan Allen.
What is he like 35 now in
Yeah, but
age?
the issue is in the middleweight division, Nasruddin Imavov's fighting Brendan Allen. Kyle's fighting Jared. Marvin Vittori's just been MIA. He's coming off of surgery, I believe. Rob Whitaker has a fight with Hamzat. Paulo Costa is getting his ass whipped by everybody in the top. You know what I mean? Like at this point, there's not a lot of matchups. I feel like
You
Izzy's
really do, yeah.
he's in a position where he's gonna have to wait for the dust to settle and get a nice matchup. Maybe Nasruddin Imavov, if he could beat Brendan Allen, Nasruddin Imavov is due a big fight. Maybe him versus Israel in Paris next year.
Yeah, if he stays on that winning streak, I think so. I think so. I can see
If
him
not,
fighting
let's
him.
do the Sean
A
Strickland rematch.
stylistic matchup for him.
The only way he gets a quick fight is if comes out beats Rob and he fights DDP for the title.
He
And
gets a Strickland rematch. I think that would be a next fight for him. A Strickland rematch
that's the
after.
only way he's getting a quick turnaround. Other than that, he's gonna have
Yeah, yeah. I think a Strickland rematch will kind of give him that motivation because he took an L from him. I feel like that's probably the only fight that would.
that's the only fight available that he could get that makes sense. If
Yeah.
not, he's gonna
Strickland
have to
fighting.
wait.
Yo, he's fighting. He's going next for the Dutchman, man. He going next for the Dutchman.
Yeah, but you already know what time it is. If Hamza smokes Rob in one round, bro, you think they're giving it to Strickland?
That's true. Fair enough. I think they're waiting off on that. They haven't announced it yet. And
Hamza still got to pull up to the fight though. This dude's a pull-out merchant at this point. The poor guy's immune system's failing him, man. He's having that Zabit. He's having the same issues as Zabit, man.
it's unfortunate, bro. He hasn't really been the same, man. If you look at his fights, man, he hasn't go through the winners. We did the losers in another video, but we're gonna go through the winners of UFC 305 main card and who we think they should fight next. So Ali, let's get into it, man. First fight of the night. We have Carlos Prates winning in beautiful fashion. So who you think you got? Who you think is next for him, bro?
Yo, let's go crazy here, E. Let's go crazy. Let's do. You want to have a party? Let's do Carlos Prates versus MVP in UK.
Mm.
Wherever. Fuck it, wherever. Let's just get that fight. But probably what we're 12. That's probably what we're gonna get. MVP don't want that smoke. Nobody in the rankings is gonna want that smoke. Neil Magny's one of those guys that the UFC he's not in a position where he can say no to the UFC. It's not a big name. So I have a feeling if he's fighting a ranked guy next, the only one he's gonna get is Neil Magny, in my opinion. Unless they jump him to the top, which I doubt that.
My thing with Neil Magny is you never know with this dude, bro. This dude will come out looking like GSP out here, bro. He got the most wins in that division. Dude's sort of a
Neil,
legend in his own right, but he's definitely a gatekeeper, bro. So I think Magny's a good matchup to see where his level is at.
you got to check the
But
wrestling.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You
But
got to see if he's
if
legit or
they don't
not.
want to get pretty, you want to get desperate for a UK card. I think MVP versus Carlos Prates
That'd be a banger.
beautiful stand-up banger, bro.
That's a striking fan's wet dream, bro.
That's a fact. Moving on, man. Moving on. Moving on. Biggie Boy has been looking good as of late, bro.
2-fight win streak.
Who you think is next up for Biggie Boy, man? As he seemingly is making a comeback.
Well, he's in a weird position in the heavyweight division because he's in a position where he's beating the guys below him, and the guys above him he's lost to. You know what I mean? He's lost to Cyril Gahn, he lost to Volkov, he lost to Curtis Blades. So he's number 10 right now. He's coming off a win over Shamil Gassiev and Tai Tuivasa. He looked good in both fights. Maybe match him up against number 9 Tybura, who's coming off a submission loss recently against the polar bear, Spivak. Or if match him up with Spivak. He's on a winning streak. He's number 7. Biggie Boy versus Spivak.
I can see that. I can see them doing that.
The heavyweight division is kind of weird because there's not a lot of options, man. These guys end up fighting each other a bunch of times, honestly.
That's true. That's true. I think I wouldn't mind seeing a Biggie Boy and Tom Aspinall, but that's we're a long way from that. We're a long way from that. But I think he'd get there, man. I think a couple more victories. But I say give him a test, man. Give him a test. I think it's Sergey Spivak.
Okay.
I think it's Sergey Pavlovich. I think those are some good matchups for him, man, as he's making his
Biggie
run
Boy
right
versus
now.
Sergey Pavlovich would be interesting. Yeah, I'm down for that. Because Sergey's coming off an L again. 2 L's.
I think he gets a test right now. I think he gets a test right now, and then we'll see. And then we'll see where he goes from there.
I didn't even think that. You're right. Sergey off 2 L's, Biggie Boy off 2 wins. It's a good time to make it happen.
It's a good time to make it happen. We'll see. We'll see. Moving on, though. Moving on. Now, this guy, I wasn't expecting to see him here, bro. I wasn't expecting to see the Hangman up here in the winners column against a wrestler. Come on. After that Islam fight, bro, I thought it was exposed, but I guess there's really levels to this, man. I guess there's really levels to this. But credit to Dan Hooker, man. This needs to not go unsaid. He took that fight on short notice against Islam, so you can't really hold it against him all the way. He was looking good this fight, man. What do you think is next up for him?
Dan Hooker goes from 11 all the way up to number 5 in the lightweight division, in the Shark Tank division, in the Crown Jewel division of the UFC. Dan Hooker is number 5 in the best division of the UFC right now. He just beat one of the best all-around fighters in all of the UFC. Mateusz Gamrot has elite wrestling, elite jiu-jitsu, and he has solid striking, and he has good cardio. He has elite cardio. He has good pressure. He's good everywhere. And Dan Hooker somehow just thugged it out and got it done. All grit and heart. The striking, Dan Hooker, that was the only advantage he had in that fight, and he made it work. He made it work. He was able to nullify the grappling. And now I feel like at this point, he deserves a fight against a top dog. That's 3 wins. He beat Jalen Turner, who everybody thought Jalen Turner was a dark horse at 55. Dan Hooker went to war with him, wins a split decision. Mateusz Gamrot, everybody's like, oh, Islam Makhachev, he's smoking all these guys, but Mateusz Gamrot, he might give him a fight. He somehow went to war with Gamrot, was able to nullify the wrestling enough where the striking was enough to get him the decision win. So now at this point, we're going to have to see Dan Hooker versus Charles Oliveira or Justin Gaethje. Those are the only 2 matches for him. Justin Gaethje at number 3, Charles Oliveira number 2. And the winner, if Dan Hooker wins specifically, because Justice fought for the title and Charles fought for the title a bunch of times. If Dan Hooker could get a win over any of those 2 guys in his next fight, he should fight Islam Makhachev for the title, which is crazy to think about. In 2024, going into 2025, Dan Hooker is 1 fight away from a title shot.
Yet again, another rematch for Islam, but we'll save that for another video.
He called him everything.
I could see him. I'm thinking of Blonde Oliveira, Blonde Dan Hooker. I think it's a good matchup. But then again, that Gaethje fight really intrigues me, man. Gaethje's up there. He took a bad L to Max, so I think that's probably a good setup for him. I think that's a probably good way to come back. Top 5 Dan Hooker, kind of see where he's at. Dan Hooker's been on a run. I mean, these split decision wins have been close, man. He's been facing some stiff competition.
Yeah, split decisions against killers, though.
Yeah. I think Gaethje would be a solid next for him. Oliveira's, I mean, he's in top 5 now, so it's crazy to say, bro. Both these matchups are solid. I think
he's up there with the big dogs now. There's nothing else.
Switch on my decision too.
There's nobody else to fight.
Either one.
There's nobody else to
fight. Can't go wrong with either one. It's just a matter of who.
Maybe Michael Chandler rematch. Michael Chandler rematch maybe because Conor McGregor won't fight him. He did lose to him embarrassingly in the first round in Abu Dhabi.
That's
That's
a good
that's
point.
something as well.
That's a
That's
good
something
point.
as well.
But does it motivate Michael Chandler though? We'll see.
No
We'll
way,
see.
no way. That's why I'm saying
But
Michael Chandler
I think you're spot on. I think either Gagey or
calls
Oliveira up
Oliveira. Yeah,
next
for
for
sure.
the Hangman. Hey, listen. Hey, listen. I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for him. I'm a fan, bro. This dude is a psychopath, certified psychopath.
Yeah, straight up. You sound
Moving
like
on,
you
moving
on
on.
Izzy clip. Kai
Kai Kara France, man. This guy, I did not have him winning the fight, but here he is in the winners column. Bro, what you think is next for Kai Kara France, bro? Coming knocking out the guy that just went to war for the title. I mean, what do you think is next? I think it's pretty clear.
Who saw that coming? Don't Blink really came through with the Don't Blink moment. Stopping Steve Ursig in the first round. He's in a weird spot. Kai Car France is number 4. Brandon Royval is number 1 at 125. Brandon Moreno is number 2 at 125. Amir Albazi is number 3 at 125. All 3 fighters have wins over Kai Car France, who's at number 4. But Pantoja, who's the champion, has a win over Royval, has multiple wins over Moreno. He hasn't fought Albazi, but he's pretty much cleared out everybody. He's pretty much Pantoja is dominant champion. Might as well just give Kai a shot. He hasn't fought him. The knockout threat is there. He has a puncher's chance. It could be an exciting fight. Let's make it happen. But if you don't want to give Kai the title fight, let's do Tatsuro Taira versus Kai Kara France. The hot, young, undefeated Japanese prospect versus Kai Kara France. Winner takes the title shot. Undoubted title shot. Completely deserved title shot. Tatsuro Taira versus Kai Kara France if you don't give him the title shot.
Tatsuro-sama. You want to give him Tatsuro-sama.
Tatsuro!
I like it. I like it, but it's hard to deny him a title shot, man. After knocking the guy out like that
Nobody saw it
in
coming.
his hometown, bro, you could tell that Perth crowd was not rooting for this New Zealander, bro. They ain't like him one bit, but he won them over. He won them over. If if Albazi not coming back, I don't know where he is.
He's injured.
I think the top 5. I think the best matchup for him stylistically and an easy victory, the easiest, well, the path of least resistance, so to say. I don't want to say easy. I don't want to disrespect these guys. I think Brandon Moreno, man, he's been on a skid lately. I think he's been, you know, he might be over the hill, so to say. I think that's probably the best matchup for him if he wants to get a title shot. But I say give him the title shot, bro. After a knockout like that, I mean, if Albazi's not coming back, I think Pantoja and Kara France, I think that's the one to run.
Albazi's coming off surgery, so he's gonna be rusty. Albazi should take a tune-up, give Kai the title shot. But let's see what happens.
I like it. I like it. But I also like that Tatsuro. Tatsuro.
Tatsuro versus Kai is a banger.
That is a banger, man. That is a banger. You could do that one out in Australia. You could do that.
Okay, let's go to Japan.
Vegas. That might be a good fight for a
Let's
Vegas
go to
card.
Tokyo.
Maybe a Conor McGregor card in December. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. Fingers crossed. Who you think is next for the champ, though? Who you think is next for the champ? Defended his title
See.
against one of the goats of the division. Who you think is next for Dricus Still Knox? Duplessis. This guy seems to be winning everywhere, my guy. This guy seems to be winning everywhere.
He just figures it out. He finds a way to win every time. If he feels like he's losing the striking, he gonna wrestle. If he feels like he can't get the takedown, he gonna strike with you. He could just beat you in several different ways, and all those ways that he could beat you in, it looks weird. It looks sloppy. But fuck it, guess what? My man got plot armor, and he can't lose. He just can't lose. You got Alex Pereira, the 205 dominant champion, calling him out. He's saying, yo, maybe one more time at 85. But I'm calling cap. I'm calling cap Alex Pereira. There's no way you make it 185 ever again the rest of your life. Stop capping. That's not happening. There's no way. The real fight, if the UFC is a real sport, give my man Sean Strickland his rematch. If we not on some sports shit, then we know what's gonna happen. If Hamzat beats Rob Whitaker, it's gonna be DDP versus Hamzat. If Rob Whitaker beats DDP, I mean, if Rob Whitaker somehow beats Hamzat or Hamzat pulls out again, we gonna see the rematch with Sean Strickland and DDP. It's kind of clear to me. What do you think?
100%. I agree. I agree 100%. 100%. They're just waiting to see what happens with that Kamzat fight, how that finishes. Kamzat will be a big test. And I've been betting against DDP for a minute lesson, but if he faces Kamzat, I might have to go Kamzat. But Kamzat also hasn't been the same, but that's another topic for another day. We're talking about DDP right now. I think what's fair is give him that Strickland rematch, man. I think that's probably the next biggest fight you can make. I think it's gonna sell itself. These guys had a fight of the year candidate type
Sean
of fight.
versus DDP in South Africa, man. Let's go crazy.
Let's go crazy. Sean been doing that. Sean been going to other countries. He's been holding it down. I think that's that fight. I think that's a fight to make.
That's a banger, bro. Rumble in the jungle
South Africa,
with
Rumble
two
in the
white guys.
Jungle.
With two white guys.
White guys fighting for Africa. That's crazy. I mean, Strickland was Tarzan before. You know what I'm saying?
I
He kind of
mean,
went away
Sean
from
is
that.
the Sean Strickland, so we gonna find out who the
Big
real.
Sean
We gonna
Strickland.
find out who the real
He's
king is
African.
rematch.
Oh, bro. I think Strickland is next. I think that's clear.
Yeah.
Unless comes out, gets a crazy dub against Whitaker, which I don't see
We all
happening,
know
man.
that. We all know that oil money is too much. Uncle Dana, if Hamza wins that fight, Uncle Dana's
Yeah,
putting Hamza into that title fight.
that's
And it's
Dubai.
probably gonna be
Yeah,
in Abu Dhabi
hell yeah, hell yeah.
or Saudi
Kamzat,
Arabia.
Messi on an October card. You know what I'm saying for the title. I think that happens, man. I think that happens. Undercard probably Umar Nurmagomedov. We'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see.
But honestly, if Hamza pulls out, it's going to Sean Strickland. We know that.
100%. All right. Thank you everyone for tuning in.
We
Full
out of
Guard
here.